Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Oh my goodness, the Triforce podcast back up in this bitch once again. It's me, Flax Lewis, bringing you some flavorful audio into your ears right now. Yes. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yeah, ready to drop off that salty, sweet flavors. Well, yes. I don't know what our voices are.
No, I don't do the intros.
I'm definitely not honey.
You don't know what our voices are.
Well,
you mean as a descriptor for our voices?
Yeah,
Lewis is asleep still.
Yeah,
Sips is pickle juice. Mine is
mine is
fucking hot dog juice.
Cider hangover plus vape.
Oh,
oh wow!
Plus, apparently Kermit the Frog, which
you got that big buildup of phlegm in your
phlegmatic
lungs,
old man devoid of hair. Oh, I was having a think about being bald.
Yeah,
and something occurred to me. All right, so given the rate,
that sentence. So I was having a think about being bald.
Yeah.
You've had 40 years to think about that.
No, I haven't been bald since I was 8 years old. What are you talking about?
Well, I remember that's how I envision you as a child at school.
Yeah. Although, like I've said many times, my friends still don't think of me as a bald man, which is bizarre. But anyway, because they've known me for longer. Anyway, given the rate at which I am mistaken for other bald men, which is apparently continuous, I'm constantly getting messages, tweets, instas, whatever. Is this you? And it's just a picture of a bald man, or
a picture of Greg Wallace.
Yeah. Literally any bald man. Like if they see a bald man, they will send me a reel or a video or a post or something. So
there is a resemblance though between you and Greg Wallace.
There is not. There is none. There is literally none. This is the thing. If you are bald and have glasses, which are two things that seem to go hand in hand, people will suddenly mistake you for every other bald glasses person. It's like Guess Who played with a 4-year-old. Like that's how bad people are at recognizing faces. But if there are any bald men out there who are famous, I think is good for all bald men because you're so easily confused for other more famous or successful bald men. Like it's almost like because we're all grouped into one category, the more successful bald people there are, the better it is for all of us. We just have to put up with the idiotic hair havers mistaking us for each other. That's it. But I'll take that. If it means, shared success, I'll take it.
Okay, who are we talking here, though? I mean, obviously Dwayne Johnson.
He's not bald.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
He's not bald. I believe he shaves. I believe he shaves.
He's a shaver.
He's a fake balding.
I believe so. I could be wrong. He may be genuinely bald.
I think his hair was going and he went to the... It's his signature look being bald, though, isn't it? And same with...
I'd
Bruce
like
Willis.
to think he's bald. Bruce Willis is bald, but I'm not sure on Dwayne. I haven't seen his hairline, so I'd have to have a look. Dave Bautista, he can count as a bald guy.
I think he did that as almost a tribute to Dwayne Johnson, right?
Yeah, but if you look at Dave Bautista, he has a hairline, but I don't know how patchy it is. I've never seen it grown in. And if you look at Dave Bautista, there are very, very few pictures of him with some kind of fuzz, but there's creases on his head. And the fact that he has opted for very visible kind of odd creases over hair, it says to me that his hair is not great. Or it might be super thick and he just opts for baldness.
What is your baldness requirement? Because I just Googled famous bald people and Prince William came up.
Yeah, he's bald.
He's balding, yeah.
He's balding.
He's nearly there.
No, he's bald. I mean, the guy's bald.
He's gone Prince Edward with his bald. He's got the hair around the side and then bald on top. I'm that way. I'm pretty bald on top and then I've got hair on the sides,
What do you think about the Larry David, Jason Alexander style baldness on the top?
Really bald on top.
Keeping it on the sides.
What, the Frasier?
It on, the Frasier,
Frasier.
So I guess it's because you can then have some kind of style going on up there. It's very
funny
final
to think
being bald.
In the 90s, how many hairstyles were like that? It was so acceptable, but I feel like it's not as acceptable nowadays. It's like the Dr. Phil,
It's really bad.
Yeah, it is pretty bad. You don't see it as much now. People will just go full shave rather than leave a bit on the sides.
Well, I think it's the Kelsey Grammer is so thin, though. That's the thing. It's almost bald, but somehow he's like desperately holding on to it.
Right, but it doesn't look desperate because he's completely bald on top.
It doesn't work.
He's letting it flow on the side.
Yeah, he has so much charisma that he can pull it off. Also, I think he's a very tall man, so most people don't actually see.
Apparently, he's not a very nice person.
Who?
Outside
Kelsey
of the role
Grammer.
of Fraser, yeah.
We've spoken about him before. You know his life history is a bit fucked up, right?
Yeah.
Well,
did you know that?
A lot of these guys who were stars in the 90s are not necessarily the nicest
Well, no,
guy.
but this is like some stuff happened. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. He's been married 4 times. He has 7 children and a grandchild. His first marriage lasted 8 years, but they weren't together for 6 years of that. He had let me think. Hang on.
We don't have to drag old Fraser Crane's name.
One of his wives, he filed an annulment because she was crazy, and she fired a gun at him.
Wow.
That wasn't great.
Well, that's hardly his fault.
He married a dancer and model, aka porn star, and so that seems to have gone all right. And he had another girlfriend who I think was 25 years. Yeah, apparently. So his younger sister was murdered by a spree killer,
Jesus Christ,
which is pretty crazy. And there was something else happen as well. Like he's not. I'm not saying he's a good guy, but I am saying he hasn't had a particularly smooth personal life. It's been pretty crazy. So yeah, he's a Tea Party Republican as well. So he's a bit of a nut in my opinion. But yeah, we'll see.
I'm so excited to find out who the next bald entrant is. I mean, in fact, there's a whole bunch here. You look at famous bald celebrities, and it's like it's mostly like action heroes. I don't know whether like that became a thing though, right? Like, is it something to do with bodybuilding that you do lose your hair, like the high testosterone or something?
No, I don't think so. I think so.
High testosterone does cause you to lose your hair, but
I thought it was just genetic.
I don't know if that's I think there's like a genetic thing more so than I work out a lot thing, you know.
Yeah, I guess I don't know really. Yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know why people go bald. I'm pretty sure it's just genes. And I mean I would say like Billy Joel, he's bald. Samuel L. Jackson, right? He's bald.
Samuel L. Jackson's pretty bald, yeah.
He's bald.
He's bald now, yeah.
Terry Crews?
He wasn't always bald.
Jason Statham? None of us were.
Statham?
No, none of us were.
Yeah, true.
I don't like
but he was like,
but he is bald.
Yeah. There's a lot of Vinnie Jones, pretty bald.
I don't like Vinnie Jones.
Well, you don't have to like him. He's bald.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of positive ones.
Right.
Get some good ones in.
Bald people that you like.
Yeah. Andre Agassi is bald. He used to be famous for his hair.
Andre Agassi.
I don't like Moby, but he is bald. John Travolta is bald.
Larry David's pretty bald. I like him.
He's bald. He's good. He's one of our best representatives. A lot of the stuff he puts out there, we've known for years in the bald community. And the hair people, the hair havers, just seem unaware of it. Like
Rudy Giuliani seems pretty bald. Do you like him?
No, I don't like him.
Right. Joe Rogan's bald.
How about Jeff Bezos? Do you like him?
Not especially. Don't like any of them, really.
Right.
I just want to think of fun baldies that are my friends. They're part of the crew.
Right.
Okay.
If you're bald out
Greg.
there,
like good old Greg
not
Wallace.
Greg fucking Wallace. He's a baddie. Anyway, that's that. But let's move on from baldness. I've been looking at Reddit a bit recently, right? Because I used to spend a lot more time on Twitter, but it's so bad. I've moved over to Blue Sky because it seems a reasonably decent place for the time being. But Twitter is just so bad these days. But looking at Reddit, there is something I've noticed very consistently that is quite frustrating. You'll have the original post, right? And then the top reply will not make any points about anything in the post apart from pointing out one small possible error that they made. They're like correcting one very, very small thing. And then all the top comments are responding to that one tiny correction to maybe argue over that. So there's no actual conversation taking place based on what the person has said. Yeah. It's just literally 100 comments about one very minor error or point of discussion in that. So it'd be like if you had a big conversation with someone, you spilled your heart to them or you told them something really important and all they hung up on was one tiny, tiny detail and they're completely ignoring the bulk of what you're talking about. I find it very frustrating.
I think that's a really accurate summary of the whole internet, actually. It's a bit like that, you know?
It is. The top comment will usually be something funny and gimmicky, right?
Yeah.
And I get why, because it's so frustrating to have like I think the doom scrolling nature of Reddit as well, and the front page is always full of depressing political shit.
Yeah.
But I think like this is why I periodically quit Reddit and social media platforms, because I think they are making me sad.
Reddit leans differently to how people expect it to as well. There is a bit of an echo chamber for people who, in this case, this thing that happened, were very wrong about. But you, if you spent a lot of time only on Reddit, you would convince yourself that, oh my God, this is how things work, and this is how things are, and this is what people think, and these are the things that are popular or whatever. And it's, I'd say, for the most part, probably the case, but in lots of cases, not at all the case. You know what I mean?
I think
there are definitely people not taking part in these communities and stuff that people discount all the time, but then they come back and sting you when you're not expecting it.
There's so much good stuff on the individual subreddits, right? Like, and I think if you're very careful to only stick to those and avoid the
There's
front
some
page
really great ones, like the satisfying as fuck subreddit is fantastic. Interesting as fuck subreddit is really good. You know, if you don't want to read and doom scroll until you're blue in the face, there's all sorts of great stuff on there. But you have to be in the mind frame to actually peruse it.
Some subreddits are absolutely shit and poorly run.
Sure.
But a lot of them, and a lot of these niche hobby subreddits are dominated by a few very high level elitists. I think like you can see that on like the Dota 2 subreddit. You know, everyone in the Dota 2 subreddit is a legend player or whatever the highest rank is these days, period.
But I mean, to some extent, Wikipedia is like that too. You have, there is definitely a hierarchy of contributors and editors and stuff like that. And there have been times where, information was put on and then taken off and then obscured, and you know what I mean? Like it's always going to happen on all of these sites. You know what I mean?
The nature of them is often unhelpful. Like it's actually quite difficult to find useful information on them, but they're kind of an aggregator of interesting things. It's like, I did this interesting thing in this game, like on the Factorio subreddit or on the Blood on the Clock subreddit.
Yeah,
it's people saying, oh, this is a funny thing that happened to me.
Yeah.
It's kind of a clickbaity news aggregator for niche interest, and that can lead to inspiration too, right? In a sense, like you can see something, you think, oh, that's a cool idea. I'll squirrel that away in the back of my mind, and if I want to find it again, I'll never be able to, right? Because it'll disappeared off the front page of that subreddit, and the search function is so poor that because of the clickbait title, it's like, oh, I saw a really funny thing a week ago on this thing. I didn't quite remember it. Can I find it again? No fucking way. It's gone.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of these people who, I don't know, is there a like or remember functionality? Fuck knows. Do you know what I mean? Not obviously.
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? I know that you...
Yeah, so if you look at a post, on the top right, there's 3 dots, you can click save. I don't know where it saves it.
Yeah, but never used that. But
no,
maybe...
I don't think I have either. I think the weirdest thing is you'll be looking at a post and you'll accidentally refresh the page, and it seems to be impossible to find it again. I don't know what's happened, but yeah, it is weird. It is weird.
You know what? I got some good news for you guys. Well, actually, Lewis, you're involved next week. Guess who's back in town, and guess who's going to see said person who's back in town?
Ghostface Killer?
Ghostface Killer. He's back. He's back, and
Bristol.
We're going to see him again. 5 years
later. I
later.
can't believe it.
Yeah.
He obviously liked it so much the last 5 years later. Is that when it was? Oh my God.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a bit of a lapse of visits because of COVID and stuff too. But and I think he has been back. I think he's back around the same time every year. He does like a little UK tour.
Do you think he says, "Yo, I'm back in," and then he checks his hand, Bristol?
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Yeah, just like Spinal Tap on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
So it was the 16th of November, 2019 that he played.
2019, we went to see him. Yeah, and but this time he's going to have another member of the Wu-Tang Clan with him, Inspector Deck.
Oh damn!
It's his special guest. So yeah, Ravs is going as well. Rav's a big hip hop head. He wants to go.
So googling this is a post on r/sips. So I googled Ghostface Killer Bristol 2019. On the first page is so happy I saw Sips at the Ghostface Killer event last night in Bristol. Also saw Lewis and Duncan, and they were all so friendly and happy speaking to everyone. Also seemed very shocked people at a Ghostface Killer event knew who they were. That's great.
Yeah.
You're wearing a Wu-Tang shirt, Sips. Oh, this is fantastic.
Am I? I have
Yeah.
I have an autographed Wu-Tang T-shirt by Ghostface. I'll have to get another one with I feel like a little kid. I feel like a little kid going.
You had a great time.
It's fun. Yeah, it's good fun. It's a good night. I gotta get.
If you look, there's like a ghostly Duncan and Harry in the background.
Yeah, I need to get some. I need to get some of those silicone ear defender things though, because last time we went, it was pretty bad. I thought I was going to lose my hearing. Like it really blew my head off. Yeah,
you're such a like innocent Jersey Island boy.
I know,
precious little boy.
I know. I got to protect. Well, Wu-Tang always say protect your neck, but I'm gonna go one further and protect my hearing.
What does protect your neck mean?
Yeah, I want to make sure I can still listen to.
Now, as they get older, I think protect your hearing could be a new.
Protect your knees.
Be safe. Yeah. That's the Wu-Tang.
Protect your back. Don't lift anything heavy don't bend at the hips.
I just remembered something when I was in Sweden for like nearly 3 weeks, right? And I got back on Monday, got a cab home, and the cab driver was a bit crazy.
Okay.
And it really stuck in my mind because this guy, I get in the cab, I tell him where I'm going. He's like, yeah, cool, hop in, mate. And I'm in the cab for like 30 seconds. He starts telling me about how his marriage is in trouble. And he's like, we've been together for 18 years, or was it 11 years, something like that, 11 years. She just left me this week. I was like, oh, I'm really sorry to hear that, mate. He goes, yeah, she's just, I think women are just, they're out for money or something. I don't know what she wanted. She was kind of a bitch. I was like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, bud. And then like silence for 15 minutes. I used to have a Polish wife. I was like, oh, okay. And he's telling me about his previous wife, and they have a child. They had 2 daughters together. He tells me about them. Silence for another 15 minutes. And then he starts telling me about his dog. And his dog, he said, I can't remember, he said it was called a Caucasian something or other. Dog, okay. Caucasian Shepherd. They are fucking huge. Look at a picture of this dog. Here, I'll pop a picture of it. These things are massive, right? They are absolutely massive.
Sure, it's a big fluffy.
Size of that.
Big lad.
He said when she stands up, she's taller than me. She's huge. I was like, wow. So it must be tough to feed her. Yeah,
like having a bear in your house.
Exactly. I said, it must be tough to feed her. He goes, oh yeah, she eats anything. Squirrels, she catch squirrels, she'll eat a squirrel. Rabbit, she'll eat a rabbit. And I don't mean like rip it apart. She'll eat it whole. I was like, wow, yeah. And he goes, cats. Cat comes in the garden, she'll eat cat. I was like, holy shit. And
it's just like a big pile of like collars, like built it up in the.
Yeah. And then he's telling me when we're out walking her, I've got to be careful because she'll go for smaller dogs. I was like, that's not good. He goes, oh yeah, but she's as good as gold, mate. She's good as gold. I said, well, unless you're a cat. He goes, well, cats are different, aren't they? I was like, okay. Like he's basically making out like, well, if a cat comes in the garden, so be it. If she catches it. And then he tells me that he's got this patch of land. He lives out in Kent. He's operating cabs in southwest London. At the end of his shift, he has to drive all the way back to Kent to live. Blows my mind. A lot of cabbies do that.
It's really strange.
And then he's telling me about his house, his property. He's got this house, and then he's got this huge garden that runs way down towards the end of like this wooded area. And she's got that whole area. And that's like her territory. And if anything comes in it, she tries to eat it, essentially.
Are we talking about the dog or the wife?
The dog. And then as I'm getting out of the cab, he's like, come and have a look at the picture of my dog. And I'm like, I've just flown back. I'm tired. It's like quite late. And he's stopped outside my house and he's trying to show me pictures of his dog. He's trying to tell me about his house. I was like, this guy's just lonely. But then he tells me his postcode and urges me to look his property up on Google Maps to prove the size of his garden. And then he says, I live in this big tunnel. It's like one of those tunnels, like you grow tomatoes in. That's my house.
Dartford tunnel, mate. You know that? Dartford tunnel.
It was crazy. But he was giving me such a weird look that I thought, I don't want to stand outside my house while I get my keys. So I went to a neighbor's house a few doors down and pretended to be looking at my keys there so he wouldn't be sure which house was mine. The guy was so crazy. I was like, this guy's a murderer. He's going to feed me to his giant dog.
I think sometimes people find that someone they speak to, this is very, very common, someone they speak to, they feel that they're listening, right? And it's easy to open up to people you don't really know. And I think you were just maybe polite or responsive, or he felt some sort of kindred. Maybe he was a secret bald man.
He wasn't bald. He wasn't bald. He had a head of hair.
Right.
It
Well,
always comes
could be
back to that
toupee.
for you, doesn't it?
It could have been a shy
You're
baldy.
obsessed. You're
He's
obsessed
obsessed.
with my hair, mate.
That's just an example. I didn't know. But like he obviously felt comfortable with you, or you gave him like signals that you were interested.
I was very dismissive. I was like, "Cool, ooh, yeah,
Oh, really?
Oh, dear. Oh, goodness. I didn't like engage him in conversation because it was so bizarre.
So interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was like, oh gosh.
I like the taxi drivers where, and this happens quite a bit, and I'm thankful for it too. I like the ones where you get into the car and you sit down and they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" You're like, "Yeah, fine." He's like, and they're like, "Oh gosh, yeah, nice weather today, yeah," and you're just like, "Oh, I hope they're not going to talk the whole time."
Yeah.
And then they turn around, they're like, "Hey, do you mind if I make a personal call?"
Yeah,
And
I'm like,
you're
go for it, bud.
Yeah, of course. And they spend the whole time on the phone with their earpiece, like talking to their wife or their girlfriend or whatever. And those are the best ones, aren't they?
Absolutely.
And then they stop and they're like, "Oh, well, have a good day. Yep, see you later.
Job done."
See ya.
We're not mates just because we're in the same car.
No.
Like, you just want me to pay for a ride, and I just need the ride.
I don't mind a little bit of small talk, but man, when you get dragged into a big, huge conversation, the whole ride, and it's political and this and that.
Oh my God.
Personal, and you're just like,
bad.
Jesus Christ, man.
Some of them will give you their life story. Like, I had this cab driver one time, he was from Afghanistan, and he was telling me what it was like living under the Taliban and everything, which was genuinely interesting. But then he got into the conspiracy theories, and sort of, you could tell he wanted to blame the Jews for his predicament. And I was like, oh my God, like, we're going to go down that rabbit hole. And he was saying, who's really behind all this stuff? And I was like, okay. I was like, just here. Yeah, there's the station. Drop me off.
It's awkward though, because you can't, I feel like in situations like that, I'm just trying to pacify the person. I'll say anything. Just
they've got you in their car. You can't get out.
But like also you just like you don't want to rock the boat at all. You don't want to say anything. Like
exactly.
So you're just sitting there constantly eating shit, basically, and it sucks.
Imagine you're a woman on her own in that car at night. Yeah. This is why women are so fucking careful about getting in cabs.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this cabbie's my age. At the very least, it's going to be more or less an even fight if it comes to something like that. Unless he's like some Joker-style villain and just gas starts to fill up the back of the cab.
Yeah.
I've got some kind of chance. But if this guy's twice my size, then, what are you going to do? Like, you're just in big trouble. So, it always makes me feel uncomfortable. I always think, Christ, at least it's not going to go down I'm just going to have an unpleasant conversation. I'm not going to feel like this guy's like being a fucking pervert or something, unless he's super into bald men. Lewis, I know you'd love to bring up my baldness. I'll do it myself. I'll cut you off at the pass.
You ever get the one that's listening to like the radio, but it's like talk radio, and they're like joining in, they're like getting all fired up about it, and you just think, come on, man, like this life is too short. Like, just don't be like this. Like, just there's got to be something else you can do. Like, I know you got to sit in a car all day, but it's crazy. It's so annoying. It doesn't happen that often, but when it does happen, it's pretty annoying, isn't it?
It's something.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how the people we love most are often the hardest to shop for? Luckily, there's one gift that everyone on your list is sure to enjoy, and that is an Aura digital picture frame. Aura frames make it incredibly easy to share unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the picture frame. And when you give an Aura frame as a gift, you can personalize and preload it with a thoughtful message and photos using the Aura app, making it an ideal present for long-distance loved ones. It's a gift so special, they'll use it every day. I've given out a few Aura frames, and actually I've got one in the office, and it's always, people always notice it when they come by, and always like smile when they see the pictures of different people on it. It's a great gift. I can definitely recommend it. And you can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com and getting $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver frames using the promo code Triforce at checkout. That's auraframes.com with promo code Triforce. This deal is exclusive to listeners, so get yours now in time for the holidays. Terms and conditions apply. Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like making an order on your phone, on a train or bus, on speakerphone for everyone to hear. Do you really need the whole train to know about your Amazon purchases for Christmas and all of the things you've been buying? Well, fear not. A VPN prevents the ISPs from seeing what you're doing by rerouting 100% of your traffic through secure encrypted servers so no one can see your browsing history. It hides your IP address, making it extremely difficult for third parties to track your online activity, and it is very easy to use. You can just fire up the app and click one button and you are protected. It works on all devices, phones, laptops, tablets, and more, so you can stay private on the go, and it's rated #1 by top tech reviewers. I use ExpressVPN at home. I don't even notice it's there, and it makes me feel more secure when I'm online, so I do recommend you try it out. Right now, you can take advantage of ExpressVPN's Black Friday/Cyber Monday offer to get the absolute best VPN deal you'll find all year. Use our special link, expressvpn.com/Triforce, to get 4 extra months with a 12-month plan, or 6 extra months with a 24-month plan. Totally free. That's expressvpn.com/Triforce to get an extra 4 months, or even 6 months for free. On with the show.
Hey, I've got a subject for us to talk about.
Okay.
I'm hyped.
It's film and TV tropes that I hate.
I'm hyped.
Film and TV tropes that I hate. I've been watching a couple of shows lately. I watched The Penguin, finished that, really good.
Right.
I watched the new Day of the Jackal series, which is really good. It's been really enjoyable so far. There are some moments they've lifted direct from the film and just remade, which is kind of weird to see. There's one scene, if you've seen the Day of the Jackal, the original with what is it? Is it Edward Fox? I think is in it. Anyway, it's really, really good. There's a scene where he goes and tests out the sniper rifle he's had custom made by shooting a melon that he hangs from a tree.
Right.
You know the scene?
No.
Maybe.
Yeah, probably. Anyway. Is it a slow motion melon explosion?
No.
I don't know the scene then.
Okay. So it's like they've remade it almost shot for shot. He's even wearing the same outfit as in the movie, which kind of feels like, that's a bit weird. But I'd rather they did that than the awful Bruce Willis remake, which was just terrible. Anyway, there is a consistent trope that I noticed in that it happens in this show, and I realized how much it annoys me. People with extremely important jobs that are married, they've got kids, they've clearly been together at some time, but their significant other gets really annoyed by something like they're late for dinner, or they always like missed a piano recital or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, you realize that this person's job is like genuine life and death, national security shit. And you're like, well, I guess dinner's burnt then. It's like, how has this relationship lasted this long? And this has never come up before?
This is the straw that broke the camel's back, finally.
It's like the chicken is burnt. I'm sorry if I'm fighting for my life against hired Russian mobsters. But yeah, the risotto is ruined. Oh my God. And it's like that fucking argument has to come up. And they're always like, you knew the deal when you got into this. Yeah, but I didn't think it was going to be this bad. So, well, it fucking is. Because I work for MI6 and I'm an assassin. Like, what do you think? I'm going to be late for fucking dinner. Like, that's literally every fucking show that has that set up.
You got to, over the years, evolve into that role, though. You don't just get that role. You know, like if you marry at 18 with your high school sweetheart or whatever, you know, you would eventually like kind of develop into that role. You wouldn't just have that role straight away. So there has to have been a couple of years where you're just like, you know, a paper pusher, or you're like the coffee guy or whatever, working your way up to that. But then how does the marriage change to take on these like new responsibilities, or are they secret?
That's definitely a fair point. But if I may, going out into the field and doing the grunt work, like getting in gunfights, is not the job of upper management, right?
No.
So when you first start, they don't start you off pushing pens, and then as you rise up the ranks, you push pens really well. We're going to send you into the field to shoot people.
Well,
you probably start off doing the shooting people and the dangerous shit, and then as you rise up the ranks, you do less dangerous shit.
Can you be trusted, though? I mean, I'm 18 years old. I just got married at a very young age. I'm starting on my life and stuff.
About? Right, what job are you talking about?
International assassin.
Right, you're not getting that at 18, are you?
No, that's what I'm saying. You got to work your way up into it, but how?
Because you're probably in the armed forces or the police or something like that.
Right, so you have a little bit of military, but how much? Well, you get too conditioned, and then you're no good at being an international assassin.
Conditioned by what?
Well, just like, being in a regimented, highly disciplined
Like the
role.
army.
Like the army. Yeah. You become institutionalized and then you can't think outside the box. But I think an
Right, but-
international assassin needs to
So
think on their feet all the
you're
time.
right. The international assassin is obviously the Jackal. I'm talking about the MI6 agent who is tasked with finding him.
Right.
She has a family. She has a husband. They have a daughter together who's like, I think she's like 18 or something like that. So they've been together a while, and she's clearly experienced at this job. She's quite senior in her role. She still has to go do field ops. And her husband, who's like the professor, is getting pissy that she was late for dinner and missed parent-teacher night. And
So it must be a complete secret. She must keep her
he knows.
professional
They
life
have
very
the argument.
secret. Oh.
No, they have the argument. She's like, you know what I do and what this is about. He's like, yeah, but it's just such a non-thing that would happen. Like it's just so frustrating to.
But doesn't it?
fucking
They
have.
do it because it has to. They have to create not tension, but they have to create conflict
Drama.
at home.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these stories, it's all the odds are against them, and sometimes they just have to go that extra step, now the family is against them as well because they missed turkey dinner.
It's just so tedious.
It
It's
is.
just so tedious.
It is, but the whole thing is just kind of, I don't know. It's like
These
it's so
tropes-
far-fetched, isn't it?
These tropes are-
it's so
yeah.
far-fetched that it's like not even really like that enjoyable half the time.
There's two things I think that happen with this. One, they're copying another time they've seen it, right? It's like a rote idea that they've, it's almost, it writes itself. That's what you expect when you're writing something. You have seen this before in a successful show and you copy it, right? You copy that idea and it's supposed to, they're not sure why they're copying it, but it's just, this is how TV or movies are made. These are the tropes that happen. So our one has to fit in, right? We can't be weird or different too much. And the other thing is, it's like an easy way to establish a character is annoying. And this, the sort of like the nagging housewife, it's such an old trope, right? It's in everything.
Yeah.
Right.
And it sucks. Yeah, it's really dumb. Like I don't know. There's tons. Everything has tropes, right? And
Well,
you see them
it
all the
doesn't
time.
suck as much as being out on the field, risking your life, and some old battle axe is at home crying about the spaghetti.
I cooked a lovely dinner and you're late for it. And now it's ruined. It's like, what? Like, why? Yeah. Or there's always that shit. Isn't it?
this is True Lies.
Fucking, your daughter's ballet. She's
Exactly.
crying.
Yeah,
You
that's
didn't turn
true.
up
The
to
whole movie of
ballet.
True Lies is basically that, isn't it?
But she doesn't know
then-
what he does, right?
No, but
Like,
then
that's
she
the
gets
thing.
involved.
Yeah.
She gets to get involved. So that's the
She's
twist.
just bored, which is like, he's away all the time doing spy shit. And she's just like lives this boring life and wants some excitement, not realizing, of course, that's exactly the life her husband has. She thinks he's this boring guy who has this boring sales job, has to go away for conferences a lot. That's a much more understandable and common real life thing than, oh, my husband's a spy and it's inconvenient for dinner. Like, fuck off.
I
just
think if you're going to be...
That's the lazier take.
if you're going to be a spy in an international assassin's, probably better to not hunker down and have a family and stuff. You want to be
Indeed.
footloose and fancy free James Bond style, You go on a new mission or whatever, and you don't have to bring a whole bunch of suitcases with you on the trip.
He did. Every time Bond gets with a woman, it ends really badly for her.
It does, but I mean,
Ethan Hunt in the Mission Impossible movies, he smartly decides, you know what, get away from me, and gets his wife off to go with someone else because he loves her and he doesn't want bad things to happen to her. So he's like, I'm gonna literally dedicate my life to making sure you don't get in trouble. So get away from me, which is like a genuinely quite a very romantic thing to do. I really like that.
James Bond goes on a dating app and meets up with somebody, and every time somebody asks him what happened in your last relationship, it's always the same answer: she died.
It was kind of my fault as well, but swings around about, isn't it?
Dr. No killed her. What do you think of that?
She was killed by a doctor? Well, it was some kind of doctor anyway.
Yeah.
I've got some more. Here's a thing that people say in movies. I can make some moves on the street. Have you ever heard that in a movie?
Who the fuck? I can make some moves on the street.
I'll make some moves on the street.
I think everybody thinks that they can make some moves on the street, though. I think everybody has somebody that they know or they think that they know where, I think people generally are pretty resourceful in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I could probably make some moves. I know a couple of people or whatever. In reality, I'm not making a single move on the street.
Yeah, what is a move on the street? Like, I'll give you an example of a scene.
Probably calling in like some sort of favor, and it's probably calling in a favor from somebody who is very scared of you as well. I think that would be making a move on the street.
Maybe.
You know,
is it going to buying like drugs or something?
No.
I'll give an example. On the corner.
I'll give you an example. All right, so here's the setup. Someone bursts into an apartment. They've got blood on them. What happened? God, we barely got out of there alive, man. It's like, what are you talking about? Why have you come here? We need somewhere to lay low for a few days. We stole from the wrong people. Ah, shit. You've stolen this from the Kumata cartel. This is big trouble. So we just need 48 hours and then we'll be out of your hair. You'll never see us again. He's like, all right, I can make some moves on the street and buy you guys some time. Stay here, stay out of sight. That's the setup.
Okay.
All right. You'll see that all the time. Once you start noticing people making moves on the street,
maybe maybe the move they're making on the street is like just some sort of like time wasting distraction. You know
what? Are they popping and locking on the street? Are they busking outside the apartment on the street? Do they just go around and say to people, yeah, hello, mate, you know me from the street. I'm trying to hide some people, just trying to make some moves. Try and buy us some time. What have you got for us?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Make some moves. What moves? What is this move?
These are fictional movies, and they can say stuff like this without having to explain it or do anything about it. It's probably mostly implied that this person is very well connected with the local underground element of the town and can probably call in some favors or waste some time or do a distraction so that these guys who have turned up out of nowhere covered in blood and said that they're in a lot of trouble can get away, and they'll never get away. They'll be dead.
But don't you think it's funny that we have no idea what those moves would be?
No,
really. But we've accepted it as an audience.
Yeah.
Like the audience is just like, oh yeah, moves on the street. That makes sense. Well, does it? Like, could you even describe what those moves might be? Or are we all just collectively happy to just
somebody's made a move on the street?
Yeah, he's making moves on the street. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of this stuff is just really like throwaway stuff in the movie. Nobody really remembers it, or you know what I mean?
It's it just washes over us.
Yeah, it's a situation that moves on to a bigger situation, and you just sort of you don't really think about it. But yeah, I guess it's interesting. That one does come up a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, once you see it, you'll see it a lot. Making a move on the street, along with you need to get some rest. That's another one. Get some rest while you can. The hero not having a drink of water, even though they've been fighting aliens for 12 hours.
Yeah.
Apparently they don't need water. Another one I've got is people just not saying in a straightforward way what the problem is or asking the questions that a normal person would ask. So like when the entire drama and the confusion is this person not saying what the audience knows in a clear way to another character. And it leads to this misunderstanding, and then they don't correct them. They just kind of go like, oh, and then the next stage of the drama is a simple misunderstanding.
Yeah.
That could have been cleared up just by speaking in a clear and adult way. It's so fucking annoying. Like you see it like in a comedy, if it's done for comedic effect, like a farce, like in Frasier, that's like bog standard, right? Just thinking of Frasier again. And lots of British comedies and comedies in that farce tradition, someone will say something and get the wrong end of the stick. And from that is the comedy.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But when the drama stems from someone just not really making themselves clear, you think, why didn't you just ask for an explanation? Like, this is a life and death situation. Aren't you going to be like, sorry, can you just clarify that for me? Because that sounds crazy. It's just you notice these dog shit misunderstandings leads to the whole next scene of the movie, and then of course it's all resolved.
But what you just described there is kind of a common trope as well, because they usually cast British people into that role. Like, excuse me, can you just explain to me? You know, like all of a sudden they just have this moment where they need clarity or whatever, but a bomb has gone off, or they're in the middle of asking for the clarity, and then the bomb goes off, and they're like, ew. They have to run away and stuff. That is also a big trope. I find that happens all the time. Like that guy that played Scotty on Star Trek was a bit like that, wasn't he? Oh yeah. He was like, you know,
if I'm not careful, the engine's gonna blow up. Yeah, in his appalling Scottish accent. All right, here's another one. People are only drunk if they are emotionally in trouble and need help, or they are about to get into trouble, or somehow going to be the cause of trouble.
Yeah.
Like alcohol in the movies, you would think that every time you have a drink, you are either your life is in a downward slide and you need rescuing, or you are somehow going to be in trouble. No one ever just goes to the pub and has a rip-roaring evening, comes home drunk, passes out on the sofa, no problemo. It's always for dramatic effect. You would not think that alcohol is widely used. The way they use it in movies is the same way they use heroin in movies. Like, this person is having a fucking terrible time. They're doing crack. It's the same. If they're drinking whiskey, it's like, oh, the stress is getting to them. Their life, their marriage is failing. It's all strung out and terrible. And the booze is the signifier.
You're right. And the barman's like a drug dealer, it's like kind of evilly giving the drinks to this guy that he knows he shouldn't.
Yeah,
you know?
like this is their lowest ebb. They're drinking alcohol. Oh my God. As if it's not the most socially acceptable drug ever.
Yeah. People are doing it all the damn time.
Lazy,
well, maybe it's
right?
apparently less than ever now. People are drinking, but I'm not sure that
But this
that's
has been
true.
around forever.
There's still tons of people drinking, is there not? Like, there must be.
Not the way they used to. No, it's like if you go out, there'll be people drinking, but I think a lot of the people like drinking from home or going to the pub every day is still older people.
Right.
All right, here's another one.
I think it's to do with the difficulty in replicating real life on telly, right? A lot of the time when you've got this pub, or you can't fill it with extras, like it's really busy, or else that's like, it's a lot easier to just have it like, half empty with the barman, like one couple that's sitting at the table behind him, the camera behind the bar. It's such a familiar sight as well. I think if you're a writer for these TV things, or even not a writer, just on the writing team, someone says, oh, how do we make this guy look like he's at his lowest ebb? Okay, let's have him sit at a bar, like sadly drinking whiskey.
Yeah,
but that's not your lowest ebb. That's a banging night. Like, come on. What are you talking about? You just gone to the pub. That doesn't mean you're at your lowest ebb. Maybe it's an American thing, because drinking in America is kind of got a seedy connotation, I think, compared to the UK. People don't go to the pub the way they do here.
I think this happens more on TV when things are more rushed, right?
Yeah, it's just cheap, isn't it? It's just a cheap, lazy way to do it. Like one of my next ones. A lot of these things come from laziness, I think. Keys to the car being kept in the sun visor of that car.
Oh, I mean, these are all classic
That's
tropes,
a classic,
right?
yeah.
There's tons.
You could do that in Jersey, by the way. And I'm sure people do.
The about to be hit by a car or bus framing in movies.
Right.
You'll know the framing I mean. It's always the perpendicular to the road, so the road is running completely
where it goes,
right.
And
they're like,
them.
Dad, and he's stepping out. It's like, son, and then it cuts back to them. For some reason, it like quite a distant shot, like a full body shot, and then it's like, CGI bus. Normally from the left side of the screen.
Like a zoom up on the face, but the background zooms out at the same time. It's that weird
the Jaws zoom,
yeah.
And they're like, no, he's been hit by a car. And the car's just gone. You never see the driver.
That framing sometimes gives me like fear. Like sometimes you see it unintentionally. I'm like, oh my God, is someone about to be hit by a bus?
Yeah.
And then they aren't. And I'm like, oh, wow.
It's so, I don't know when it started.
Because it's so familiar now.
Do you know what? I feel like the first time I remember it was in a Final Destination film.
I don't know if I've ever seen one of those. Those are the ones where people die in them, right?
Yeah, they step out and then a bus just goes,
yeah, or they die on a roller coaster or something.
Yeah. So Final Destination is that they got off this plane that they were meant to die on,
right?
But death is them following them, and they die in all these grisly ways. It's a really good setup for like a slasher flick.
Right.
It's genuinely quite funny because there's no baddie. It's just death.
It's just death.
Yeah, and they're like, you'll see them doing something like, hey honey, I'm gonna finally fix that table with all my heavy power tools, and then it's like you're on edge watching as he's like getting the drill started, and he's like, I'll just put this bandsaw here on this high shelf.
I gotta unclog the carburetor again.
Exactly.
It's really clogged. It's really deep. I gotta reach right down.
I'll reach in down there. But then that's not what gets him.
No.
Right? He'll come out of there fine. But then you'll notice a marble rolling off a shelf and some Rube Goldberg machine happens behind him and an axe drops and chops him in two. It's really, they had a laugh.
I gotta watch those.
It's like a kid's Lego brick. He steps on it and flies backwards and slips down the trash chute and impales himself into an electrical socket.
Like Home Alone.
It's insane.
Home Alone 2 Lost in New York.
These are great.
All right, I got another one. And these last two kind of occurred to me watching a film the other night, which is quite often you will see in an American film, a character will be given a gun and they will have no idea how to use it. Like they won't even know where to point it. It's like they've never held a gun before. In a country that has more guns than people, am I really meant to believe that it's so common that people would just be like, oh, what do I do? It's like, just that end goes at the bad guys and pull the triggers. Oh, okay. It's like, fuck off. Tons of Americans have fired guns. What is this? Oh, what is this strange object? It's a gun. You're an American. It's a fucking gun.
Yeah.
You know what it is. Odds are you know how to use it. What is this? Where is this coming from?
Yeah, because he's a mathematician. He spent all of his time in the lab and not at the shooting range. That's why he's
absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just such an easy trope.
It is.
Because it makes the goodie look even more powerful because he knows how to use this mystical object called a gun. Hell or High Water, there's a film called Hell or High Water that I think it's set in Texas. It's got quite a good scene where they rob a bank and like 3 people in there have guns and like shoot at them. So like average people just carrying guns is like it's a thing that happens in America. But in the films, you would think that nobody in America ever had a gun. It's quite funny.
fucking tropes, eh?
Yeah, I've got one more, but it's a little controversial. So I don't know if you want to talk about it.
Go on, come on.
Fuck it, you're killing it. This podcast.
I don't know. I'm killing the podcast in some ways.
No, you're doing great. Honestly.
All right, so here it is. I was watching a film called White House Down last night on Netflix. I finished watching.
Oh yeah.
Channing Tatum is like the action hero.
Well, it came out at the same time as another movie.
Olympus Has Fallen.
Olympus Has Fallen, yes.
With Gerard Butler.
Was this the worst or the better one?
This is the better one. This is Channing Tatum. They're both bad. This is Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx and James Woods and a bunch of other people in it. Anyway, in this movie, and I feel like this is one of the last ones of this kind, the president is like someone that everybody really likes and wants to support, and he's a good guy. And
you're right.
And it's only conservative bad guys who are interested in like the military-industrial complex and defending America.
Yeah.
Like conservatives, they're the baddies, and the goodies are this black liberal president who all the people are like, oh my God, it's the president. And everybody's like, Mr. President, and saluting him. It's all very reverent. And the White House lawn is like a big thing, and people waving flags and like America, America, America. And one of the baddies in it, they say, they get a picture. I'm like, it's this guy. Who is he? Oh, he's like a right-wing fringe militia type. And I'm like, is that really a character that you expect to see in films now? Given that we just had an election where a lot of people like that are openly on the news saying, this is how I feel, this is why I'm voting this way. And some of the people in positions of authority would probably identify more with that supposed bad guy than with Jamie Foxx's character.
They got to well, maybe the tone of movies in of that genre will change now. You know,
it's going to have to. I'm not saying that films are going to become occurring like they did under the Nazis. I'm just saying you can't have these guys are right wing, so they're the baddies. You can't do that anymore because a lot of your older audience that are still going to the cinema are those kind of people, and it's now like no secret that more than a decent around half the people in America would probably have a lot more in common with the thoughts of these conservative guys who are the baddies than with these liberal progressive president types.
Yeah.
I just think you won't see a respect for the president and, oh my God, it's the president thing in a movie for some time. Because I think in general, people fucking hate the president. Whoever he is. They're like, fuck you, man. So I'd like to see them remake White House Down.
Does seem
where the crowd is going, yeah, kill that motherfucker. There
seems to be a lot of hatred, not just for specific presidents as of late, but all of them.
Yes, they are all despised by half the population.
And probably have been for some time. I know like Reagan won in a landslide, but he was fucking hated. Nixon was fucking hated. Who else is
George W. Bush when he
Senior
won.
was fucking hated. Clinton was fucking hated. Bush Jr. was fucking hated.
I don't think they were hated the way they are now. I really don't.
Oh, I don't know. I think they were pretty fucking hated.
I think the divisiveness in politics now is so extreme that the idea of putting the president as someone who needs saving, and if they try to make the president a kind of more neutral, apolitical figure just to appeal to more people, you're still like, fuck the president. Either way, people are going to say they're going to imprint their vision of a bad president onto that fictional character and root for them to be killed. I think that if you had a movie now where the whole point was to kill the president, you got a decent chance that would be the goodies trying to kill the president, whoever you are and whichever side you're on. on, and you would be rooting for them to do it. That's a big sea change in the way films work.
I think you've been spending too much.
You've
been spending too much time on Reddit, I think.
No, dude, I'm just saying, watch old movies and see how the president is treated compared to how people view him now.
Okay, how come in all of those series of The Apprentice, are any of those people like any good? He do you know what I mean? Like Trump did all those series of The Apprentice.
Yeah.
Okay. He must have filtered through tons and tons of the best people. And they're what are they all doing? Is he still mates with any of them?
What are any of them doing from the Alan Sugar one?
No, nothing.
It's a TV show.
They don't.
They never fucking amount to anything.
I don't think there's any follow through. I think maybe some of them get a job like obscurely in some weird department under one of their companies, but it's never like.
Yeah.
It's very rarely that anything happens. One guy who won The Apprentice early on, the UK one, is now like on the, the advisory panel for Alan Sugar in the show.
Okay.
But, that's not really much to write home about either.
If you follow him on Twitter, AMS, Alan Sugar, you will see that he tweets about products that he's putting out.
Yeah.
He's laid on some entrepreneurial thing. And it'll be like with the winner or whatever, and they've launched some product. You never hear of it again.
No.
Like ever.
No.
It's like it's an attempt at a business, it fails, the end, and then they go off and do something else.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a singer or something where they basically, if they don't make it as a singer, they're like, well, fuck, I'm done for. If you're just a business person, you'll find some company that can fucking hire you. There's like management types all over the fucking place making good money for just wank.
PR firms and stuff.
So yeah, I'm sure they'll be absolutely fine.
Well, we got to stop the podcast because you got shit to do today.
I got to take Terry to the vet.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck, Terry.
We'll catch up with all of you guys.
We're getting some hibernation tips from the vet, and he's got an underbite that needs to be sorted out as well.
Oh, right.
I know.
Okay.
What a strange thing.
Fucking tortoises, eh?
Well,
Jesus.
look after him.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
We'll see you next week. Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.